Good morning. I'm going to try this video one more time. I keep saying that, and this is the fourth time I've tried it, and I haven't been pleased with any of the results. So if it doesn't take this time, if I don't like it, then I give up. You're in my scrapbook room, which is also my sunroom, and I'll try not to make anybody nauseous, my library. And it's got floor-to-ceiling bookshelves on 1.5 of the walls all the way around. And it was the only space I had available to put a scrap room in, so this is what I did. This is my Sewing and Imagine Center, and I've got my Cricut Imagine, which I love, by the way, and my two sewing machines, or two of my sewing machines, and my Big Shot, and some kind of light. I think it's called an Ott light that I just got, that it's kind of interesting. And then under that table is my daughter-in-law's scrapbook stuff. She comes over and scraps with me as much as she can. And she actually got me started scrapbooking about a year ago, year and a half now. And then there's a crate full of paper stacks that I sorted and put all the stacks in alphabetical order. If they were specific stacks, like I have a Navy stack and an Americana stack and holidays and stuff like that. Otherwise, I took all the paper out and sorted them by what they are, and I'll show you that in a minute. Coming around, this is my first homemade Clip It Up and my second one, and boy is that dark. And these are really cool. I made them with shoe racks from Walmart. I wouldn't take for them. The shoe racks were $15 a piece, and I actually have enough baskets to make another one, and I'm going to. But I have a lot of embellishments hung on them, and let me get close enough to show you. I used the large paper clips and then these adorable little clothespins that I got from Oriental Trading, and I just clip all my different embellishments and I sort them by what's in them, and they spin and they're very sturdy, they're not going anywhere. And then the second one, I've got lots of alpha stickers and baby stickers because I keep having great-grandchildren that I have to scrapbook for, and pet stickers because I have a bunch of dogs. And then up at the top I've got jars with buttons and some stuff that I just didn't hang, some mat stacks and word stacks from K & Company. And then I like to make my own storage solutions, and so this was one that I thought up on a Saturday morning, and my husband and I made it on a Saturday afternoon. And it's a 3/4 inch piece of plywood and 2 L brackets and a small piece of wood, just a little wider than the piece of plywood, and casters, and we attached towel bars from an old hardware store here in town. They were like $3 a piece, and I installed them, screwed them on, and we took all my punches that will hang this way that I could fit on the board and hung them so I can see them, grab them, use them, and put them up, and I can tell if something's missing and search until I find it. Generally not a problem. And then on the end I put some more hooks, and you can see I've got my corner rounders sitting down there. And then I hung on the end, on the edge of the board, I hung a bucket full of shape scissors and embellishment go round and some more scissors. And then this book where I took the back of all my Cricut cartridges, copied it onto matte cardstock, and put them on a ring, and put them in alphabetical order so I can look through and see what I've got. And then just some stuff that I made. And then going around the board, it's more storage. I've got my spritz bottle, and I've got one of my eyelet setters, and a scoreboard, and some die cuts that are way too long to go in the drawer. And I've got my lamp clipped up to the top of it, a gooseneck lamp, and that lights up my expression and my guillotine cutter. And they're sitting on some of the Stairlight containers from Walmart, and they're all 5 drawers each. 2 of them are really big drawers, and then a medium, and then some smaller ones. and I've got all kinds of stuff in them. I've got them labeled. One drawer is just run over adhesives, and another one is sharp tools for cutting, like circle cutters and extra paper trimmers and blades for all of the above, and I keep them there. And then at the side of this bookshelf I've got a step stool, because up at the top I have stuff I don't use real often, like the embroidery unit for my sewing machine, and my U-Story, and a couple of binders, and then one of the small Crickets, the first one they came out with, up at the top, and I use that to loan out if somebody needs one. And the next shelf is my Xyron shelf, and I've got my 5.5 inch and my 2.5 inch and my X and a spare 5.5 inch, because you just can't do without that one. And then my Creatopia and my 9-inch Creation Station. I really like Xyron. And then coming down, I've got some horizontal storage, and I've got cutters in it, and paper trimmers, and my Martha Stewart scoreboard, which I like a whole lot better than Score Buddy or Score Pal. But I have my Score Buddy, and I do like it. And I have my envelope maker, box maker thing. And then I have a notebook full of cling stamps, and that is not my favorite way. I would have to have 40 of those books to put all my stamps in, so that's not my favorite way to store those. And then I have a little box full of junk, pens and alcohol and some gum and some embellishments that I've made standing up. And then over here I have Cricut mats that need to be restuck that I haven't had time to do, and a box of photos. And then down here I have all of my glitters and my embossing powder and flocking and stuff like that. And my baby wipes, which you have to have. And in this box I've got all my ink pads, and I store them upside down, and that way they stay inkier longer. I guess inkier is a word. And then I have a basket with another eyelet, well actually 2 eyelet setters, and a bunch of eyelets in it. And then I have my small stacks, my matte stacks, and my 8x8 and 6x6 paper in a basket next to it. And down on the bottom I have my Cuttlebug, which I don't use as much now that I got my Big Shot, because I don't know, the Big Shot just works better to me. And my Gypsy, and some more photos. And that's a box, and in it, it's got my Fiskars stamp thingy. And in it, I've got all my other clear stamps stored in little bags, and they're stored by section, like animals and whatever. And I have some more bags in the front, and I have some more to put in there. And then next to that's a box with some extra punches that are just really too big to go anywhere else. And then on the end of this bookshelf, or shelf, it's not a bookshelf, hanging, I'm trying not to make you sick or drunk, my husband, I designed this, and my husband built it in about 15 minutes one Saturday. And it's a rack to put all my wooden, or most of my wooden stamps on, the ones that I use most often. And it's 2 1x2s and a quarter sheet of masonite. And he made the drawers, and he drilled 2 holes up in the top, and I attached it to the side of the end of the bookshelf with plastic strapping. And it really works well, and I can come right over here and grab whatever stamp I want. You know, if it's a wooden block stamp and I use it, then this is where it gets stored. And then, okay, so as not to make you sick, here's another one of those metal bookshelves, and I just love, I hate anything piled on top of something, because if I want something, I don't want to move something to get to it. And so on this shelf, this was something I added the other day, and I've got 4 or 5 of these units. And so I took some extra shelves off some of the others and added them to this one, because a lot of the stuff is just not tall, and I could put extra shelves on. And so up at the top I've got a paper holder and my tin foil that I emboss, and some embossing powder and some flocking powder. And I'm going to put all my embossing powder into dishes or containers so that I have a bigger work area over the embossing powder. And then there's some baskets, and they have ribbon and a bow maker and my Wind It Up and my Sew Easy and my ribbon thing from Making Memories. And then down another shelf, and there's more little bins, and on the ends all my alcohol inks that I made, my 2 ribbon boxes, and 2 ribbon boxes are never enough ribbon boxes. Down another one, that's extra embellishments on the end. Next to that's all my chipboard letters separated by what letters they are, and then some more loose embellishments that I have in the little like tackle box thing, my bottle caps, and then my flowers, and some more run-over punches. I have a lot of punches. And then those 2 bins are just extra runoff stuff. Some's got frames and mats, and one's got construction paper in it, because when I first got my Cricut, I did not realize that you could not use, well, you can, but it ruins your mat, use construction paper. And there's some of my bookshelves that I had built. And then my twirly thing that my daughter gave me that I've got overloaded with everything imaginable in it. And my workspace, and my daughter-in-law's workspace. And I'm going to make this weekend. My husband's going to drill the holes for me out in the shop. But I'm going to put my stickles in this. And it's 2 pieces of masonite cut into a circle. Let me see if I can get it in the screen. With a dowel set through it. And I'm going to put 2 more dowels for support. And then we're going to cut 7/8 inch holes all the way around it. And some in the center. And I'm going to turn my stickles upside down and put in it. And because it's round and it sits on this dowel, it spins really well, and I'll be able to get to my stickles. And I just came up with that while I was homesick this week. And then some, thingies to hold up books or plates or photos. I'm not doing well at that I got at Hobby Lobby, because I've been making tiles for Christmas presents, and another dish that I'm going to put embossing powder in, and then my Making Memories spinning caddy that everybody has, and I love mine. And of course I had to add stuff to it so that, you know, I could, like, you know, butterflies and clippies and smiley faces and ribbon and stuff like that. And that tells me what's in the drawer, because I kind of know what's behind all of them. And then my paper, and I said I would show you how I do this. And this one's a terrible one to start with, because I've just been piling stuff on top of it. But down this is my solid and my flower cardstock. And I bought these crates at Walmart, and they were like $3.99. And I've bought many. You can see a black one over there and a purple one over there. And I have another black one in my garage. And they were 11 3/4 inches. And I could not store 12 by 12 cardstock in it, which is what I wanted to do. And so I got a ruler at Walmart and went and measured the interior of these crates before I bought them. And they were a full 12 inches, which was perfect. And I got hanging files, and I sorted all my cardstock by color. You know, like there's craft, and then it's in alphabetical order in there. And grays, and oranges, and pinks, and purples, and reds. And then a lot of white. And then my Basil's is behind that, and it's also separated by color. But they're all in hanging folders, so it's real easy to move them. And then florals are back behind that, and they're separated also by background color, or by predominant color. And I've got them setting one on top of the other for several reasons. A, I'm in a wheelchair, and so I can pull those out and get to the paper because it's up 2 crates high without falling out of my wheelchair, which is really helpful because falling hurts. And then on this side, like I said, is my paper stacks and my heat gun ready to go. And they all fit, and they're all just tucked in there real nice, and I've got room for some others. And then at the back is some kits and stuff that I bought when I first started scrapbooking. And then this one is all of the pattern paper. Oh, excuse me. And I can pull it around, and it's all in hanging folders. And the first one is specialties that, you know, I bought just them by themselves, like this wonderful shiny glitter duct tape paper. And the lacy dewies that go over a page, and stickers. And then it's sorted by pattern, like Argyle's right toward the front. And then baby, and critters, because that's got fish and birds and butterflies and whatever. And then monochromatic, black and white, butterflies, and it had to have its own little folder because I have so many butterflies. Anyway, and then dots, and I have lots of dot paper. you know, and then, you know, food, and I don't have a lot of food paper, just a couple of sheets that have food on them, and then a girly folder, because I only have one great-granddaughter, but I wanted some, you know, paper for her, and then some grid and line paper, leaves, etc., on through the back, and that way, if I have an idea of what kind of paper I want, I can grab it really quick, and I'm all about organization. And that's my scrapbook room. Thanks for watching, and if you have any comments or any ideas about storage, or you want to ask any questions, feel free. Thank you. Bye.